What's going on, guys? I'm Mr. Golden Gamer, and I make gaming videos that nobody watches. Last week was a huge week for an upcoming FPS game called Gray Zone Warfare because they finally released raw gameplay footage, and on top of that, a lot of content creators were able to get their hands on this game and give us their first impressions of the game. I, of course, was not one of those content creators, but I did consume a lot of the content about this game, and it left me with some questions still. I wasn't exactly sure what Gray Zone Warfare is, what the gameplay loop will be, and what it's trying to do. Sure, we can talk about how good the visuals are and how good the gameplay looks because it does look great, but if that gameplay loop isn't rewarding and fun, then what's the point, right? So that is really important in the game, and I think I finally have a good grasp on what this game is and what that gameplay loop will be. So we're going to talk about that in this video, but before we get into that, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We just hit 800 subscribers and we're on the road to 1,000, so if you like FPS content, I'd love to have you on board. So what is Gray Zone Warfare? Well, as the player, you'll be joining one of 3 PMCs on the island of Lemang, which is somewhere in Southeast Asia, and I believe I'm pronouncing that right, but maybe not. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but this map is massive. It is 42 square kilometers, and if you're a dumb American like me, that's just over 16 square miles. That is a absolutely huge map to see in a video game, and in this map, you'll find AI combatants. You'll find criminals, military in the service to the local dictator, as well as players, which are rival PMC operatives. So you'll have a mix of AI and real players in the game with you, which is really cool. When you load into the game, you'll be in your respective PMC's base. This is where you can edit your loadout, modify weapons, buy and sell items, and things like that. This base is on the island. Your entire play session is on the same map. This is an ever-changing dynamic world. There are 48 players per server split into 3 different factions, which are these PMC groups. Each PMC has their own base on the island. So your base is on this island, and there are 48 real players split amongst those groups, right? So your base, where you are editing your loadouts, looking at your stash and stuff like that, is live in the game. So I can see a scenario where enemy players might attack your PMC's base. Now, I've heard that your base has things around it to prevent people from doing that, things like mines, maybe turrets, but what would happen if you were to attack another PMC's base? Would you get rewarded for that? Is that allowed? That would be really interesting to see, and that's something I'm really curious about, and we really haven't heard anything about that. But anyway, on your base, you can interact with vendors or traders. I've seen them called both throughout their blog posts, but it seems that the most recent thing that they've called these people are vendors, and there will be 6 of them at launch. The gameplay revolves around quests for the most part. So you can receive quests from one of these 6 vendors, and there will be over 150 quests whenever this game goes into early access, which is absolutely crazy. And they want quests to make sense and have meaning. They don't want players to venture into the world to find X pieces of Y or bring back some nonsensical items. Since they're focused on the living open world aspect of the game, there are no set spawns or events that will always happen during a specific quest. This means that quests could be easy with little resistance or very challenging with heavy combat, depending on factors that are completely outside of the player's control. An example would be like stumbling into an enemy patrol of these AI combatants. Maybe you do that, maybe you do the mission and there's no resistance at all, you just go in, get it done really quick, and that's what's really cool about having this living, breathing, open world environment. The game won't be holding our hand in any way through these quests. They respect our intelligence. There won't be any massive waypoint markers guiding you step by step through the world. It's up to you to read the briefing carefully, familiarize yourself with the land, and execute your plan. They are also having branching decisions, so after you receive a quest, another vendor can chime in with a slightly different proposition. You can pick according to your moral compass, or just because maybe you like the reward more. Completing the quests and choosing with whom to cooperate will shift the player's reputation with each vendor, providing them with new possibilities or different choices. So these vendors, you can level them up very similar to how you level up traders in Tarkov. Even if players don't want to complete the quest, they can still progress through the game, albeit less effectively. There's a story you can engage with if you choose to do so. You can play through the game without ever engaging the story at all, though. They want to avoid pressuring players into any particular actions. You can approach this game however you want to. Although you aren't required to complete quests, I do see the gameplay loop revolving around these quests, and I've seen them call them quests, tasks, and missions, so if I use those terms, you know I'm talking about the quest still. This gameplay demo is showing players complete a quest from the vendor Handshake, and this mission or quest is called Rat's Nest. So here's what Handshake has to say. Here's the deal. It looks like some of those rats in town didn't get the memo and are still scurrying around and causing trouble. It's time to put a stop to their operations. Your mission is to conduct a thorough search of the town and its outskirts and identify the hideouts used by these punks. Keep your eyes peeled for any suspicious signs or markings that might help you uncover them. The main areas of interest for me are the town's northwest and southeast sections. Once you've identified the hideouts, investigate them discreetly. We want to gather as much information as possible before moving. Don't engage in direct confrontations unless absolutely necessary. Don't forget, your primary objectives are reconnaissance and gathering intelligence. So, how would you approach this quest? There's no predetermined path to success. There are ever-changing environmental and PvP variables that could turn into an intense firefight with a surprise enemy patrol, or you could have a standoff with other players, other PMCs. So you can prepare for this however you like. Approach it however you want. Customize your weapon to how you see fit. Maybe you wear some lightweight gear so you can move more quietly and make a quick exit if you need to. You can go alone or you can go as part of a 4-man team. It's really all up to you. And whenever you leave your base and go out on mission, you have two options. You can leave your base on foot and hike all the way to the location you need to, or you can take the Little Bird helicopter to a LZ of your choice, which is what you saw in the beginning of this gameplay, taking the Little Bird to your LZ. Choosing the right landing zone is a critical part of your planning process, as the Little Bird can be visible from afar, so a longer hike might be the key to success sometimes because you don't want to be spotted with that chopper. Choosing to explore on foot not only enhances your overall progress, but it uncovers hidden gems in the map. You might stumble upon unexplored locations with scarce loot, or maybe discover some story items or things like that. So once you've completed your quest or just gathered enough loot, it's time for you to head back to base, and you can do this via the chopper. You can call it into a landing zone and take the helicopter back, or you can hike on foot. You're still given that option, which is really cool. And once you get back to base, you can claim the reward for completing your quest, deposit your valuables into your stash, restock things, maybe trade with some of the vendors, and gear up for the newly unlocked quest. So this is the loop. This is the gameplay loop, and this part right here where you're talking to vendors, trading, moving items to your stash, I think this is one of the most important factors to this game's success. They need to hit the mark on this because this is why people enjoy Tarkov. They like trading, they like getting that money and earning things, buying things. The economy system in a game like this is so important, and I hope they really nail it because everything else looks really cool on this game, and that is super important. But every successful mission increases your odds of surviving the next venture. It's also crucial to understand that other PMCs on the island might have similar objectives to you. They might have the same quest, so you can communicate with them and choose to team up, or you can ignore them, or you can fight them, which most likely it's going to end in a fight because they want whatever loot you're carrying. But this is a dynamic world on this island, and it is always alive. Guys, I think this game has a lot of potential, and I'm really looking forward to it. The gameplay, I know you guys have been watching it this whole time as I've been rambling, but it looks good. The environments look great. The weapon models look great. The animations, there's something with the animations that feels off to me, only on the walking and running animation. Everything else beautiful, like the healing animations and eating animations and things like that are on point, but something feels a little off or a little clunky with the walking and running animations. But maybe that's just me because I haven't heard anyone else talk about this. From the people who have played the game, I have heard some things about some optimization issues, low frame rates and things like that, which it kind of makes sense whenever you're looking at the game. One, it's a massive map. Two, it's a very dense map in terms of vegetation. I don't know how they've done what they've done here, but the environments are crazy. Every single blade of grass is like reacting to wind and things like that, as well as the jungle environments. Absolutely insane. I don't know how much time and effort they actually put into that, but it has to be a ton because it looks great. And I wish more games would kind of explore this like Southeast Asia, Vietnam looking terrain, I guess. It's a very beautiful part of the world, and I feel it's not explored enough, and I'm really excited that this is the location that they chose. Can you imagine battling people in these jungle environments? It's going to be so hard to see people. Even some of these grassy fields, like if anyone has a ghillie suit, good luck. But I really like this so far. I can't wait to get my hands on this game. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of this game. Do you think it's something you'd be interested in? Maybe you're a Tarkov fan. This is the thing that I can compare it most to, but I like the things they're doing in this game to set it aside from Tarkov, being that everyone is in the same game on the same map. There are 48 players across 3 factions. Sure, it seems like a lot, but it's a massive map. So you're not going to run into people that much. And I think a lot of those people, of those 48, are probably going to be messing around in their respective bases, right? They're going to be doing things like customizing weapons, buying and selling things, trading things. They're not all going to be in the map doing quests at the same time as you, but they could be. And if you run into them, that could be really fun. I think the PvP aspects of this game will be very fun, and we haven't really seen too much of that yet across these play sessions and demos. And man, I just can't wait. It's so cool to have a new shooter like this, especially from a developer, which I didn't even mention. Madfinger Games is the developer of this. They have never done like a full-scale PC game, and this is on Unreal Engine 5. Madfinger Games is known for mobile games, and this is their first time taking it big to a full PC game release, and they are going all out on it. This game is taking real-world data for the weapons and the bullet physics and stuff like that. Just absolutely crazy to see that from a historic mobile developer, but they are absolutely killing it so far from what I can tell. A couple optimization things here and there, and I think we're in business, guys. Let me know what you think once again. I'm Mr. Golden Gamer. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to doing more videos on Gray Zone Warfare, so stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.